Good morning, boys and girls. It's time for language arts. Caleb, thank you very much for reading our morning message this morning. You did a fantastic job. Jasani, thank you very much for leading out in calendar this morning. You also did a wonderful job. We're going to make our morning message disappear, and we're going to open up our handwriting lesson for this morning for first and second grade. First graders and second graders, I know that today is Tuesday. We found that out in calendar. But yesterday school was closed, correct? And so today is our first day back. So we're going to pretend on our lesson, even though it's Tuesday, we're going to pretend in handwriting that it's Monday. Have you ever heard somebody say, that person writes like a doctor? Have you ever heard somebody say that? No? Have you ever looked at how your doctor writes notes when maybe they write a prescription and mom and dad have to take it to the pharmacy to get you medicine? Have you ever looked at how the doctor writes? No? Well, doctors usually write very sloppy. And it's very hard sometimes to read. In fact, I was at the pharmacist one time, and the pharmacist couldn't read what the doctor wrote, and he had to call the doctor while I was standing there and ask the doctor what he wrote because it was so sloppy. Now, Jesus asks us to always give our very best in everything. Does that also mean in our handwriting? Of course it does. So, first and second graders, today we're going to write the word curves, corners, and first and second graders, I want you to read out loud. Only first and second graders, please. Read out loud the sentence with me. Ready? Begin. Shapes.
Curves or corners.
I heard Caleb, but I didn't hear Clifton. So let's try again. Clifton, good morning, my friend. I need you to read, okay? Here we go. Shapes have curves or corners. Now, let's take a look at writing that. I'm going to pull out my magic pen, and I'm going to start with the word curves. How do I know where to start the word curves? Anaya, how do I know where to start the word curves? Okay, first I have to trace the word. Very good. So I'm going to trace the word. Caleb, where does the next word go?
A finger space.
I have to have a finger space, and then I can start the next word. Perfect, correct? You like it?
No.
What's wrong with it? Yes? Oh, the R has gone all the way to the bottom, so I'm going to put my pen back, and I need to erase the bottom part of the R.
Yes.
Now is it perfect? Okay. When I do corners, and do you think I could get another word curves on there?
Yes.
I bet I could. So let's pick up the pen. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You don't like it? What's wrong with it?
The C is too little.
Oh, the C is too little. But everything else is perfect.
No.
No? Anaya, what else is wrong?
The use.
Oh, the U is not correct. Is my R correct?
No. Yes.
Yes, the R is okay. Is the B okay?
No.
No. Is the E okay?
No.
No. Is the S okay?
Yes. Yes, it is okay.
You think the S is okay? Is it sitting its bottom on the line, or is it floating away? It's floating away. So I think what I need to do is I need to erase this and start it all over again, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so today you're going to write curves 2 times, trace it once. Corners, trace, write 2 times if it fits on the line. Trace shapes have curves or corners and then write it 1 time by yourself. If you open up your homework folder on your desk, you will see that you have a handwriting page that looks just like the one on the screen. First and second graders, please take that out. Please take out a pencil. You may begin. Third and fourth graders, let's look at yours. I need somebody to read the first 2 words for me, please. Isai, can you read what that says?
It says keen fear.
Keen
Keen fear.
ears. Ears. Keen means that they're very sharp. They work well. What does the next one say? Come on. Sharp eyes. Third and fourth grade, read the sentence with me, please. Ready? An owl can see even when it is dark. So we're going to take our pen and we're going to write keen ears. You're going to trace it first. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to skip that part. You can do that. Then we're going to write keen ears. Could I write it again? Yeah, I probably could. So I'm going to visualize what a finger space would look like, and I'll start it again. Is everything okay? Jasani, you don't like it? What's wrong with the K? Okay, so the K, let's see, I'm going to get the green one out. The K is peaking above the line, so that's too large. What else is wrong?
The E's
Okay, the E's are going above the plane line. That's not okay. What else is wrong, Isai?
Instead of there's an N, there's an N.
Oh, I did not make an N. An N has only 2 humps. I made the letter M. That hump needs to go away. Is ears okay?
Yes.
Okay, so this morning you're going to work on keen ears, sharp eyes. An owl can see even when it is dark, and an owl can hear animals moving. If you open up your homework folder, you will see your page. Now, everyone freeze. How am I going to know that this belongs to you? Caleb, I need your name on it. And after the name, I need the date. If you look all the way over here, and I'm going to review with you because it's the first day of school for January, the short way to write our date is 1. 1 is the first month of the year, and that first month is called January. It is the 9th day of January, and it is the year 2018. So that's the short way to write the date on your papers. Make sure that on the top you have your name and date. Is everybody clear as to what we're doing in handwriting this morning?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Any questions for me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, you may begin. First grade, stop handwriting. Put that on the corner of your desk. Please bring me your phonics book and a pencil, and come have a seat with me at the table. At the top, I see a line that says N-A-M-E. What's the word N-A-M-E? Name. So would you please show me the very best writing you have for name, and next to it write the date in your best writing. Can you make that match the plain line for me? Thank you very much. Can you erase your N and make that touch the plain line for me? Excellent job. Very nice, Anaya. Today's date is 1. Can you see it all the way over there? 1/9/18. Why are you erasing your T tonight? Did you find a mistake? What's the mistake? Very good. That's nice. You did a great job. Clifton, that N looks fantastic. Today we're going to focus on the letters J and L. What sound? Clifton, your O looks lovely. You don't need to keep erasing it. There was nothing wrong with it. It looks great. What sound does the letter J usually make? J. Very good. Clifton, what sound does the letter L make? Say it. You got it. It's right there. I can see it coming out of you. Oh. Can you say that for me? You can't say that for me this morning. You're stuck this morning. We need to wake you up after being on vacation. You've had so many days of sleeping in. It's hard because you've had to go back to work, huh? Vacation is a wonderful thing, isn't it? It's not a wonderful thing. Should we have stayed and kept going to work? We should have. Well, I was glad for vacation. Can you do me a favor? Would you please trace capital and lowercase j and capital and lowercase l? Excellent job. That is fantastic. It doesn't? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Let's take a look at the very first picture. We're going to name the picture and we're going to print the letter that goes with the picture. This guy is sitting on a beach. Where is he at?
Chair.
He's in a chair. The chair is on the beach where? It's high, but where?
On the sand.
It's on the sand. It's at the
Beach.
Lake. He's at the lake. So lake starts with what sound? Oh. And what sound symbol do we use? What sound symbol? What's the symbol called? The sound is called O. The symbol is called L. So let's write lowercase l. It's cold outside this morning, so many of you wore a... What's this? It's not a coat. It's a jacket. Very good. Jacket. Do you know the difference between let's write a lowercase j, Clifton. It's not its name, it's what it is. So your name is Clifton, but you are a boy. That is called a jacket, but it doesn't have a name. It's what it is. So show me lowercase j. Good job. Oh, no. Let me show you. We want the dot to sit just on top of the plane line, and then j sinks down like it's a fish hook. Okay? I'm excited because when I go home, I want to see if somebody has sent me something in the mail. What comes in the mail?
Mailman.
The mailman comes in the mail. The mailman brings me the mail. But what does he bring?
The mail.
The mail. And what's in the mail?
The mail.
Oh, what are these called? They're called
Notes.
not notes. They're all
Letters.
letters. Very good. Fix your j for me. It needs to sink below to the worm line.
What? You going to start reading 1 Corinthians?
Okay. We live close to an army base. And people who work in the army don't drive cars. They drive jeeps. Very good. Down here on the worm line. Good. Fantastic. Now, your job is to finish the last ones by themselves. You have to decide, is it a j word or is it a o word? Okay? When you're finished, I want you to start handwriting, and then I will call you back to see if you've done these correctly. All right. You ready? You can go back to your desk. Thank you. Second grade, please bring me phonics. Third and fourth grade, open up your handwriting book, please. Or I'm sorry, your homework folder, please. You will see a spelling page in there. Please bring the spelling page to me with your pencil. Those of you that do have your papers, if you are in fourth grade, you have to write your name in cursive. If you are in third grade spelling, write your name in printing, and then write the date. Caleb, I'm impressed. Very nice. Isai, lovely. Jasani, lovely. Okay. Miguel, looking good, my friend. Miriam, let's take a look. That's great. Miguel, I need the date on your paper so I know when you did it. Can you see the date all the way over there? If I took my glasses off, I couldn't see anything. I could see that there was a color on the board, and that's all I can see. Okay. Everybody have a date? You two, you will get your papers in just a second. But can we continue and you just watch what we do for a moment? Will that be all right? Okay. So I'm going to ask Isai, would you please read the directions at the top where it says say?
Say each word. Listen to the beginning sound, then write the word.
Okay. Let's look at the sample where it says spelling tips. Jasani, could you read spelling tips for me?
The
Consonant. Spell. Good.
spur, and enter are spelled the way they sound.
Okay, so cover up the tip. Cover up the tip. Spull. What sounds do you hear in the blend spull? SPL. What do I hear in spur? SPR. Okay, now this was not on the page. What do you hear in stir? STR. What do you hear in sure?
S-H-R.
S-H-R. Very good. What do you hear in chur?
C-H-R.
Oh, say it again.
C-H-R.
C-H-R. What do you hear in... Oh, I'm going to see if I can find a hard one.
Possible.
I'm thinking hard here. Oh, I'm going to come up with a silly one. This is a nonsense one. Okay? Fleur.
F-L-R.
F-L-R. Very good. Can you think of a word that would start with fleur?
Flurry.
Oh, that's very good. But flurry doesn't start with F-L-R. It starts with F-L-U-R. That was tricky, wasn't it? All right, so let's... Yeah, but it's not F-L-R. It's a tricky one. That's why it's called nonsense, because to get flurry, you have to have a U in the middle. Let's take a look at the first word. Are you ready? Here we go. What's the word?
Splash.
Splash. Cover it up. Cover it up.
Over splash?
Cover it up. I don't want you to look. I'm going to make the sounds. Spull, ash. Write the sound spull. It's called an onset. Spull. Spull. Oh, not spa. Spull. Now write the rhyme sound ash. Don't separate it. Write it all as one word. So we're not breaking it apart into syllables. I know it kind of sounds like we are. But I want you to write it all as one word. Spull ash. Good job. Is splash a name?
No. Sometimes.
Really? Like if it's splash zone, that's a name, isn't it? But in this case, is it a name?
No.
So does it get a capital or a lowercase? Lowercase. Yes, ma'am. If you're a fourth grader, yes, please write it in cursive. Okay, what's the next word? Eleni, what's the next word say? Not trip, there's a S in front. Strip, strip. So strip, I can strip the paper. I can strip by taking off my clothes. I can strip when I'm driving, which means I'm staying in my lane. I'm in one strip of the road. Okay? So strip can mean all sorts of things. Cover up strip, please. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to chunk it apart for you. You only write the chunk you hear. Stir. Stir. What three sounds are you hearing in stir? Make sure it's not a capital, it's not a name. Write the rhyme sound ip. Stir ip. Are you understanding what we're going to do today? Okay, next one is all by yourself. Say the word and then cover it up and see if you can write the onset and the rhyme. So say the word to yourself and then cover it up and write it. What's this word? Now cover it up and write strong. Okay, you cover it up. I don't want to cover it up. Stop. I want you to go to your desk. You're going to finish it there, okay? Freeze. It is time for you to zip your lips and read. Please put down your pencil, put away your book, take one of the two books that you chose from the library and take it out. I want to see which groups are ready and following directions the first time. It's time for you to have Xylar. Okay, I'm seeing who's ready. All right, you're going to zip your lips and read for the next 9 minutes, and I'm going to send this group right here. You have 3 minutes. Will you quietly go? You need to beat the clock. If you beat my clock, you will get a pom-pom in your jar. Please quietly go with Mrs. Duchesne. Go to the bathroom and get drinks. Your 3 minutes has begun. For those teachers that are watching on camera, you will notice that I said that their minutes have begun. That is a device used to get them up and moving, but I actually will not start the timer until they have actually walked out of the door. Then their time begins, and they need to be able to beat that timer back, and they will get a reward for going to the bathroom and quietly coming back and going to Xylar time. Second group, starting with Caleb and coming all the way over to Anaya, you have 3 minutes to go to the bathroom quietly, get a drink, and come back and finish Xylar time. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please quietly put your Xylar books down? You can save that for later on during our guided reading time. And would you push in your chairs, quietly meet me over on the carpet, crisscross applesauce, please. It is time for shared reading. Today is Monday, and every Monday in reading, we focus on several things. We focus on going on a picture walk. We focus on new words. And we focus on understanding literal questions. That means questions that we can find the answer to. They're right in the story. How many of you have ever flown on an airplane? Only 2 people have flown on an airplane. Have you ever imagined flying on an airplane before? What do you think that must be like? What do you think if you've never been on an airplane before, what would flying on an airplane feel like? What do you think? Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Is it scary? You think sometimes? Oh, it might crash. That could be a little frightening, right? So this afternoon, Dr. Cookenmaster has to get on an airplane to fly home. I live in Atlanta. So when I fly home, what do you think I'm going to experience on the airplane?
Animals in the water.
You think I will have animals in the water? Is there water on the plane?
No, but we can look down.
Oh, you think that I could see the animals from way up in the sky?
That bird.
I could possibly see birds. I hope they don't fly too close to the airplane. What else might I see?
You can see some, you can see the houses and the ground.
I could see the houses. I hope I can see the ground, because if I'm flying over the ocean, I'm flying the wrong way.
And you can see the clouds.
Oh, I could see clouds. What is the airplane made from? What do they... Oh, metal. Did you raise your hand to speak? Okay, so Caleb, that will be your warning for this morning, okay? Anaya, Caleb has said the airplane is made out of metal. Do they make it out of anything else besides metal? What else? You don't know? Let's think. Think, what do you think it's made out of?
The windows are made from glass.
Yes, the windows are made from glass. Actually, they're kind of a very thick plastic. They're not really glass. It's very thick plastic. What else could it be made out of, Miguel?
What happens if the birds get close to the airplane?
Oh, then they get sucked into the engine, and that causes the engine to have a problem, and then you could crash. So we like the birds to stay far away from the airplane. Usually birds don't like to fly close to airplanes because they're noisy. Okay? What else could an airplane be made out of? Yes, sir?
Plastic.
Plastic. Is any part of the airplane made out of rubber?
Yes, the floor.
The floor?
The wheels.
Oh, the wheels. Is any part of the plane made out of cloth?
The chairs.
The chairs. What if the whole airplane was made out of cloth? You don't think it would fly if the whole thing was made out of cloth? Well, we're going to talk today about a young lady who made an airplane. She wanted it to fly, and she made it out of wires and cloth. Do you think she's going to get it off the ground?
Yes.
You think so? This is called Fly High, the story of Bessie Coleman. Now, notice Bessie's face. How is she looking?
Happy.
She's happy. How do you know she's happy? Oh, she's smiling. How is she looking in this picture? Oh, serious. How do you know she's serious? Oh, her mouth. Yes, her face is showing seriousness. Now, where's she at right now?
At the garden.
In a garden?
Farm.
What is she walking down? The pathway. And what is she doing now?
She's in the barn.
She's not at a barn. She's buying a book. I wonder what the book is about.
Probably about flying.
Oh, probably about flying. Now, here she's reading a book, but it's not about flying. It says, you probably can't see it, but it says the Holy Bible on it. Oh my. What is she doing now?
Picking cotton.
Have you ever picked cotton before?
No, but I went to get cotton. No, I went to see cotton.
No, but did you have to pick it? I've picked cotton before. Have you picked cotton?
I went to get the nail cotton before.
Yeah.
I need to get a piece.
And what did you discover about the cotton plant?
In the middle it has seeds.
It has seeds, but what does it have on the outside of it? It's not very friendly. It has spikes. Well, Dr. Cookenmaster, when I was a little boy, I grew up in Arizona. And Arizona is the United States #1 cotton producing state. Everybody thinks it's Georgia, but it's not. It's Arizona. And so I got to go pick cotton, and I was so excited, and I ran out into the field, and I stuck my hand right into that plant, and I went, ow! And my daddy started to laugh. And he told me, he says, now think about that. Think about 100 years ago when people were slaves and they were picking cotton, but they didn't have gloves on. And they had to go from plant to plant picking all the cotton off, and they had to learn how to avoid the stickers. Do you think they always avoided the stickers? Probably not. My hand was bleeding. I wasn't very happy with the cotton plant, and it turned the cotton plant red because of my blood. And so my daddy did that as a lesson to me so that I could see what other people long before I lived had to go through, and so I could appreciate the sacrifices that they had to make in their lives. But they were not sacrifices that they were choosing to make. They were forced to make those sacrifices. And so my daddy wanted to know what it felt like to have to pick cotton. How is she looking now?
She's bigger.
She is bigger. How is she looking? I wonder what's in her bag. You think it's cotton? It might be cotton. Could be laundry. Maybe she's having to move. Maybe it's all of her clothes. Maybe she's having to go someplace else. Now what's going on? Oh, yes, she's gotten bigger. Right there. And she has moved to a big city.
Chicago.
To Chicago. Now, just so you know, that is a French word, so it's not pronounced Chicago. The CH takes an SH sound. It's Chicago, because the word is French. Can you say Chicago?
Chicago.
Yes. So if you go home and you say to your mommy and daddy, we learned how to say the word Chicago, because I bet some of them might pronounce it as Chicago, and you can tell them, that's not how you say that word. Now where is she?
She's in a haircut place.
Yeah, what do we call a haircut place? Oh, could be a salon. What's another? A salon is a fancy word. It's where ladies go. Where did the guys go?
Haircut to the barber.
To the barber shop. Very good. Do you think she's at a barber shop or she's at a salon? Probably a salon.
Or she's getting her hair fixed.
Oh, now what is she doing?
Bigger.
She's gotten much bigger now, right? And she's working someplace. Do we know where? No, but there's lots of papers, right? I see lots of newspapers. Where do you think it might be?
At the article.
At the newspaper factory? What do we call a newspaper factory? We call it the press. The press. Now I'm going to jump several pages. And something happens. What's happened to her? How do you think she managed to break her leg?
While making the place, she probably fell down and broke her leg.
You got it. We will tomorrow, but not today. And then I want to take you to the very last page. It's a sad page.
She died.
She does. She dies. And is she having a small funeral or a very large funeral? Why do you think her funeral is large?
Because she went to a lot of places.
Maybe.
She was kind.
Well, you were going to find that out. She was kind. Do you think she became famous?
Well, she became the world's biggest plane.
You think she made the world's biggest plane?
No, I mean, like, with passion.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Well, I think that she fly a plane and I think she crashed.
You think she flew on a plane and she crashed? Well, those are all excellent predictions. Tomorrow, when we read the story, we will find out what really happened to Bessie Coleman. Today, during guided reading time, your job is going to be to do a picture walk, and in your stories, we will actually begin to read your stories in small groups with me, okay? And what are you thinking you're going to do while some people are reading with me? What will your job be to do? Yes, Caleb.
Do work.
Finish your work. If I am finished with phonics and I'm finished with spelling, what might I do next? Because we don't have centers ready today, because Mrs. Bartlett is still working on that. So what could I do instead to keep myself busy? Anaya, do you know what you could do to keep busy? You can do Xylar. Zip your lips and read. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to go back to your desk, continue working on handwriting, phonics, or Xylar. I will call my first group, in probably about 60 seconds. Could I please see Jaden? Could I please see Clifton, Jefferson, and Anaya? Could I please see Caleb, Isai, Clara, and Josani? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about watching from space. And if you please open up to page number 3, the table of contents. Clara, if I wanted to find out about watching climate change, where in the world would I start? On what page is watching climate change? We'll wait for her to get to that page. So where would watching climate change be found? What page? Do you see? Look down. Watching climate change. Where would I find that?
Page 10.
On page 10. Are you sure? On page 12. Very good. Now, Caleb, what if I wanted to find the glossary? The glossary tells me what all the words that are in dark, bold black mean. Where would I go to find the glossary?
16.
On page 16. Very good. Isai, if I wanted to learn more about weather satellites, where would I go?
Page 7.
Page 7. Excellent. And Josani, we're going to start the introduction. What page do we find the introduction on?
Page 4.
Let's turn to page 4. Josani, I'm going to ask you to read the introduction for us, please. Before we start the introduction, what do you see happening in the picture? Caleb?
A boy with his bike.
How do you know it's a boy? Because what?
He has a football shirt.
He has a football shirt, so girls are not allowed to wear football shirts. They're not. Very interesting. Yes.
They are, right?
A girl riding on her bike.
How do you know it's a girl? What was the clue that told you it was a girl besides seeing her hair? Give me something specific. What's the big clue? She's done her hair a certain way. What do you see? Do you know what that's called when she does her hair like that? It is a type of ponytail. It's in a braid. Do you know what braiding is? Your sister braids her hair. It's when you take your hair and you twist it back and forth.
All the 3 things.
Yeah, the 3 strands of hair. That's called a braid. So that's the clue that told us it was a girl. Okay? So Josani, could you please read the introduction for us?
The world right around you has hills, trees, farms, and mountains. Standing on the sidewalk, you can only see what is happening on your street. That is your normal view. Imagine looking down at your town or Earth from space. You would have a much wider view from space. You could see and photograph your
Entire.
entire
Very good. Let's flip the page. Could you keep reading for me, please?
The scientists who study the world
Geography.
geography of Earth
Surface.
surface use cameras on stage.
Satellites.
Orbit the International Space Station in one satellite that has cameras. The space station's orbit is nearly 400 kilometers, 250 miles above Earth.
Very good. So from the ground, you can see the elephants. From the airplane, do you see the elephants at all?
Yes.
You do?
Hello.
They're itty bitty. Yeah, they kind of look like little ants. And from space, do you see the elephants at all? Nope, not at all. But yet God, who lives in heaven, says that He can see everything on earth. How can He do that? Because when we're out in space, we can't see everything. All we can see is the land and the water. How can God see everything from space?
Because He can do the impossible.
He does the impossible. That's exactly right. All right. So, Isai, would you read the next page for us?
Images made by orbits, cameras.
Not orbits. You were close. The suffix is not a s sound, it's an ing sound.
Orbiting
Good.
cameras track changes that happen to Earth over time.
Good.
They see the big picture. These images record
Pollution.
pollution, damage, climate changes, and changes to land surfaces. They also show us the effects of too many people living in an area.
Okay. And I'm looking at our time this morning, and because today was a special day, and so we had a little bit of a delay, we're not going to get as far in reading, so we will continue tomorrow. You're doing a wonderful job. Tomorrow, we need to take a look at glossary. We need to take a look at the words geography, satellite,
And
orbit, and what are the other two words that you see in black? Pollution and climate. So we need to find out what those 5 words mean, and we'll look at the glossary tomorrow and do that, okay? You all did a fantastic job. May I have a high five, please? Good job. Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And we'll take your books. Thank you. For those teachers that are watching on camera, there are, as you can see, 2 additional groups that we have that we will not get to today. In this particular classroom, we do have a paraprofessional that helps with reading rotations. So the classroom teacher sees 3 groups a day, the paraprofessional sees 3 groups a day, and then the next day, the topic changes and it goes from picture walks and understanding vocabulary, new high-frequency words, and literal questions to understanding inferences, and the teacher and the paraprofessional swap groups. We had a slow start this morning because we had something special that happened early this morning. We will not get to those two groups today, and instead it is time for us to get ready to move into Writer's Workshop. Before we do that, there is always a time between the change of Reader's Workshop and Writer's Workshop where the teacher is going to pull students back to quickly give immediate feedback on the work that the students have done in their handwriting, their spelling, or their phonics. And so that is the section that we're going to move into this time. Boys and girls, freeze. I'm going to call you up, and when I call you up, I need to first see your handwriting or your spelling only. I only want what?
Handwriting and spelling.
Handwriting or spelling. First graders, you're up first. If you are in Book B of Phonics, bring me your phonics book, please. Thank you, Clifton. I need to see Jaden and Anaya, please. Okay, Clifton. This grows on a tree. It is called a... Good job. Great. Go back to your desk. It's a judge. You got it correct. Okay, we're not on that page, my friend. Jade, fantastic job. Second grade, phonics, please. All second graders. Those of you that are waiting should be waiting quietly, please. I'm still hearing talking. Thank you. Third grade, please. Naya, you're going to need to give me a minute, or you can go over and see Mrs. Duchesne, and she can answer your question. Okay? I only want you for phonics right now. To be able to tell that that's an R. Okay. Okay, nice job. Strange. Oh, here's this friend. I need you to put your name and date on there. Okay, Lenny, I need to have these be lowercase s's. That's very important because they're not names, okay? Just one second. These I don't believe are this. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you are still working on something or you are needing to fix something, please put those papers into your folders on your desk. Then you may come meet me, crisscross applesauce. This morning, we're going to be introducing a brand new, not a book, a brand new concept in Writer's Workshop. We have talked about descriptive writings, we've done some other types of writings, and we're going to be reviewing imaginative writings today. Imaginative writings are stories that are not true, and we use our imagination to make up a story that probably wouldn't really happen. So everybody has got a favorite imaginative story, a story that's not true. My very favorite imaginative story from since I was a very little boy is Maurice Sendak's Where the Wild Things Are. Do you have a story that's not true that is a favorite imaginative story? Who can tell me a name of a story that's a favorite story of yours, but it's not true? Anaya? The alligator ate the numbers.
The alligator ate the goon.
Okay.
I wrote a story that it was about fighting. I didn't like it.
Okay, very good.
I read a book that was in the library that it was this boy that used to live in this tree and the tree talked.
Oh, the tree talked.
It's called a
Jaden? Yes, it's the giving tree.
Well, it's about that butterfly stuff. That butterfly eats some. You know the someone of the bed that you put that is in the bed.
Uh-huh.
The butterfly was hungry and he ate and he dig a hole to eat the bed.
So he was in his cocoon, and he came out of his cocoon, and so he ate through one lollipop on Sunday and one piece of cake on Tuesday, and he ate through 2 pieces of pie on Wednesday. Is that the book you're talking about? No?
He wasn't in the cocoon. He was in somebody's house and he was hungry and he was thinking that he can eat the servant of the bed.
Oh, I've not read that story. I was thinking of The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Yes, Caleb? Never mind. So we're going to read my favorite story, and we're going to see if you can figure out the story elements. Oh, big word. Elements. That means the parts of the story. Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you sitting crisscross applesauce? Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. The night that Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind or another. Oh dear. Max is going to eat his dog. His mother called him Wild Thing. Are you sitting crisscross applesauce? Thank you. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max says, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. When he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. Until Max said, "Be still." And he tamed them with magic tricks of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." A rumpus. That's a rumpus. More rumpusing. And more rumpus. "Now stop," said Max, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye, and sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end. What did you notice about the story? How did the story begin? Did it begin with a good thing? Did it begin with a bad thing? Did it begin with a scary thing? How did the story begin? Yes, ma'am. What was the bad thing? Can you remember? What bad thing happened at the beginning of the story? Why did he get in trouble? Crisscross applesauce. Because what? Oh, so he was pretending to eat, and his mother told him to stop, right? And what did he say to his mother? "I'm going to eat you up." Was that respectful to Mom? No. And so Mom sent him to bed without any supper. Do you think Mom really meant he was going to get no supper? No. And so the story started out with a bad thing. That bad thing is called the problem. And what happened in the middle of the story?
Well,
Sit down, crisscross applesauce. I can still hear you. You don't have to be on your knees.
that some trees around his room.
Trees grew in his room. Do you think that really would happen?
No.
Are trees going to grow in your bedroom?
No.
No, not unless you plant them there. So, what else happened after the trees grew?
A forest.
Okay, then it turned into a forest. And then what happened?
The walls being sky.
Oh, the walls turned into the sky. And then what happened? What happened? You weren't listening. Oh my gosh. Well, if you did, then what happened after the walls turned into the sky? Oh, he sailed away in a boat. And then what happened? Miguel?
Found these things.
He found these things. What did he call these things? He called them what? Wild things. All of what we just talked about, the trees, the forest, the sky, sailing away in the boat, finding wild things, and then the wild things did something. What did the wild things do? Yes, you may. What did the wild things do?
They roar, they shove their claws and their eyes and their teeth.
In their teeth. And they did something to Max. What did they do to Max?
They roared.
Yeah, they roared, but what did they do to Max? That's not what they did to Max.
They
They turned
turned into kings.
him into the king. And Max threw a party. What did the story call the party? It was called a what? Rumpus. Can you say rumpus? Rumpus. All of what we have just described is called the climax. It's where the story builds and gets really exciting in the middle. How did the story end? It starts with a problem. It gets very exciting in the middle. And then how does it end?
Still in hot.
Yes, Max goes back to his room. Did Max really ever leave his room? No.
This is probably a dream.
It was maybe a dream. Maybe he fell asleep on his bed and he had this funny dream. And when he woke up, he discovered that his
It was not a forest.
room was not a forest and he had what?
Supper.
Supper waiting for him. That's called the solution. So let's review our 3 parts of imaginative stories. An imaginative story starts with a problem. What does it start with? Problem. It then has something that builds into a climax. What's it called? Climax. And it ends with a solution. What does it end with? So let's say the 3 parts again. I'm going to try not to tell you what they are. It starts with a problem. Oh, good, Jaden. It starts with a problem. It builds to a... Oh, say it again. Climax. And it ends with a solution. Okay. If you can tell me the 3 parts and I don't have to give you any prompts, and I'm only going to choose one person and you don't know who I'm going to choose, I will give you a pom-pom to put into your jar. I'm going to walk over here and grab my sticks that have your names on it. And I'm going to mix them up because I have to be fair. And I'm going to mix and mix and mix and mix and mix. And then I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to say, Jefferson. Can you tell me the 3 parts of the story, an imaginative story? What's the first part? Not yet. I'm giving him time to think. Okay, Jefferson, would you like to come and choose another stick, and we'll see if this person can get the 3 parts of the story. So don't, close your eyes. Who does it say? Aleni. Aleni, can you tell me the 3 parts of the story? It starts with a problem. It builds to a oh. Okay, Eleni. Choose someone else. We're going to see who can get a pom-pom. Close your eyes. Who does it say? Miriam. Miriam. An imaginative story starts with a problem, builds to a she doesn't remember. She says she went to the bathroom.
Okay, pick another person.
All right, come on over. Though I think we talked about it several times before you went to the bathroom. All right, who's this going to be? Anaya. Anaya, let's see if you can get the pom-pom. An imaginative story starts with a problem, builds to a climax, ends with a woo! Yes! You can go get yourself a pom-pom. Good job, young lady. All right.
Super easy. Right? So easy.
Okay, everybody, let's repeat one more time. An imaginative story starts with a problem, builds to a climax, ends with a solution. Very good. I need for you to go back and get out your writing journal, please. Would you do me a favor? On the top of your first empty blank page, would you please write today's date? On the top, on the side, would you please write today's date? Okay, so write the today's date right here. We're going to brainstorm an imaginative story. We're not going to write the story today. We're going to brainstorm the story. I'm going to give you the title of the story, which means you have to get a picture in your head of what you think the story is going to be about. Is Caleb's story going to be the same as Jaden's story? Maybe. But do you think it really will be? I don't think it will be. Because I think that what you imagine will be different than what Jaden imagines. I'm going to come over to this board over here. What is the title of our story going to be about? The Dark Castle. Now, I want you to take only 20 seconds. I'm going to count it in my head. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine what the dark castle looks like. You ready? Close your eyes. You have 20 seconds. Make the picture in your head. Go. Open your eyes. Stand up. Push in your chair. There are 11 people in the room. One person has to have Mrs. Duchesne as a partner, but only one. No. It's whoever's Mrs. Duchesne is going to choose. Mrs. Duchesne, would you like to choose? Oh, you want to take it? Oh, actually, who is my helper today? My teacher. Oh, it is you.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's see who else get in the partner. Well, we've got two. Okay, that's gonna work. A 9.
Okay. You have 30 seconds to find a partner. You can only have one person as a partner, and you have to have a partner by the time I get to 0. Go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Okay, everybody has got a partner. Now, I would like for Clifton, would you and your partner move this way, please? Miguel, will you and Caleb move this way, please? Very good. Only one person gets to talk. The other person cannot talk. That person has to listen. You get 1 minute to talk. So, I'm going to tell you who's going to talk. Miguel, you're going to talk first and you get 1 minute. No, don't go anywhere. It's okay. You're going to let the young lady talk first. Okay? Jefferson, you're going to talk first. Jasani, why don't you talk first? We're going to let the young lady talk first. And of course, Anaya, you get to talk first. Only the person that I named gets to talk. They have 1 minute to talk. Do you remember the castle that you imagined?
Yes.
You have 1 minute. Tell your partner all about your dark castle. Go. You tell him.
Wow.
You're all done already? You didn't imagine very much. You have 5 seconds. Time is up. All talking is now done. If you were the talker, you now are going to be the listener. So that means if I chose Anaya's team, Mrs. Duchesne is now going to tell Anaya all about her dark castle. Okay? So if you were the talker last time, now you are the listener. You have 1 minute. Switch to being the other person. You ready? Go. You have 5 seconds. All right, time is up. Would you please quietly go back to your seats? You did an excellent job. On your paper, underneath the date, go 1 line down, and please write the title of our story. You'll find it over on the whiteboard, The Dark Castle.
What if it doesn't fit?
Oh, it should fit.
That's so little.
Go 1 line down, write The Dark Castle. The Dark Castle. Well, the castle could be dark for a whole bunch of reasons. Caleb, how can I help you, bud?
Does it have to be under?
You're stealing my thunder. Yes. Caleb is stealing my thunder. He asked a fantastic question. He says, it's a title. Shouldn't it be underlined? What's the answer?
Yes.
Yes, it should be. I'm glad he saw it. Jaden, how can I help you, bud?
Are we supposed to put that red and stay here?
We're going to in just a second, okay? Now, because we are brainstorming, I want you to indent. That means bring a space in, and I want you to put a bullet point. That's like a gigantic period. And then I want you to write the problem. So underneath your title, indent, put in a little space, then write the problem. Just like that. You're doing fantastic. Make sure that you are doing your very best and your neatest writing. We would hate to have to redo it. That would be a terrible waste of time. Now, I don't know what the problem is in your story. I only know what the problem is in my story.
What's your story? Can you tell me?
I'm going to tell you. The problem in my story in The Dark Castle is in the Dark Castle there lives a very grumpy frog. And he is the king of the castle. He's really more of a toad. He's so grumpy that he's turned old and bumpy. And he makes everybody in the castle miserable. He's really not an ugly toad at all. He used to be very handsome. But one day, he stubbed his toe and broke his toenail off. And his toenail grew back and it was ugly. And because he grew back an ugly toenail and it hurt, it made him ugly inside, and he was just ugly all around. And he made everybody so miserable that the big clouds gathered over the castle. And the sun never shone on the castle. And in the castle with the big ugly king frog lived the prince. He was not a frog. And the king frog made the prince so unhappy that the prince decided, I have to go find sunshine. And the prince ran away, which made the king frog even grumpier. That's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big problem.
It's a big problem.
Those are like big problems. Ugly toe, nose inside, prince right away.
Yeah, all of those make the problem just gigantic, don't they? All right, now, this is where you have to get busy. Because I'm only going to give you 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, not only is this going to be done, you have to share it with a friend, and then it's going to be time for language arts to be over and time to start math. You have 10 minutes. Write down what the problem in your story is. Do you understand what you're going to do? Yes, sir. I'm not going to help you, Clifton. I want you to use your imagination. You've got a fantastic imagination. I want you to put it to work. Okay? Because if I help you, then it's not Clifton's story. It now becomes Dr. Cookenmaster's story. So I want you to do it all by yourself. You have 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Go.
Can we skip a line under?
You may. Yes, you may. I need you to sit up. It is not nap time. I need you to work, please. And I do believe that's the second time that I've asked you to do that this morning, correct? So Clifton, I want you to take a second, please, and I want you to go pull your clip down to good job. You're not on green anymore, because I've had to warn you too many times. So go pull your clip, please. We'll talk after. Okay, can you, what What sounds are you hearing? Tap the sounds out, okay? So what's the word again? No, give me the word. Dogs? Is that the word dogs? Dawn? I'm not understanding the word, my friend. Dog. So what sounds are you hearing? Ah. What says ah? Ah. O. G. What says G? What says G? What letter? What symbol? G. What says S? Yes. D-O-G-S. Dogs. No, you spelled toe. So switch your W and your O around. Go to work, please. Oh, you're really going to town. Good job. I need you to put something on the page, please, that gives me a problem, that shows me your imagination, so you don't have to move down to the next color, okay? Show me that you can do your very best for Jesus. I believe in you. Ooh, good job, Anaya. Make sure you have a D, not a B. Ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 3 minutes. So 7 of your minutes are gone. We have 3 minutes left. Good job. You're doing well. You're doing a good job. Okay, so why is that the problem? So why is that the problem? Can you tell me a little more, Jefferson? Is there anything else you can tell me? I'm not saying the problem is bad. I want to know more about the problem. Okay? Okay, who was handsome? You didn't tell me who was handsome. You said the problem was that was very handsome. But who is handsome? Okay. Okay. Make sure it's a D and not a B. So you wrote B on both words, but you want D. Okay, so let's sound it out. I'm going to say the sounds and you write the sounds you hear. Not aw, Not Good. Ladies and gentlemen, there is our timer. All right. I want you to find a different partner. This time, the person that's going to go and talk to Mrs. Duchesne is going to be Clara. You have 30 seconds. Find a different partner. Oh, I didn't start counting, did I? Sorry. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Burr. A. All right, there goes the timer. Everybody have a seat, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your language arts book into your desk. We will continue writing more tomorrow. It is time for us to get ready to transition into math time. Math